Okay, so next step, people. This is a surface now, a topo surface, and I wanted you to see that it was a surface, right? And I also wanted to come to this view, this 3D view, and it looks like it's just a plain old thin flat line that's there. The only way we see differently is when we turn on our friend, the section box. Once we turn on the section box and we click on here, if we intersect that surface, now we can see the depth of the earth, right? And if we really wanted to know more about the topo surface, and we'll look at this later, however, just giving you an idea of the depth of the surface, and how far the earth is going down. If we wanted to look at some of those settings, we could go into the actual topo surface settings, and I'll show you that after we put some property lines and things like that on later. Actually, with this project, we don't need property lines as much. We'll get more into that in our building technology class tomorrow. But I'm going to go in and turn off the section box for the moment, okay? Oh, let's turn that off. There we go. All right. And let's go back to our site. And while we're here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to change this to wireframe. The reason I'm going to change it to wireframe is now I want to do some editing to my topo surface. What do I mean by that? I'm going to click on this topography and I'm going to say edit surface. Okay? So now we can modify it. Now we know in certain instances in a subdivision, oftentimes the lots are all flat and level, okay? But that's not always the case. And what we're able to do, like for instance, if I copied these points, right? And I said copy them and let's take them back, let's call it 75 feet. How about that? Right? Now I have 2 points that are also 0. I'm also going to grab them again and I'm going to copy them and I'm going to copy them back another, let's call it 30 feet this time, or 40 feet. Now that these are copied, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave these points at 0, but once I get past there, I'm going to grab these again. I just thought of something. And I'm going to pull these up and I'm going to make this 20. Right? And then I'm going to grab these again and I'm going to copy them and I'm going to make these another 20. All right? And now I'm going to do something. I'm going to start changing these values. So when I select those points, notice I get the elevation. I'm going to start sloping that land down. In order to do that, if I put in a -1, watch what happens. Now I have some lines in there, right? Again, those are -1. Now I'm going to select these two, and they're at 0. So what does that mean to you right now? Let's talk about this for a second. If we were to just simply finish this surface and go to a 3D view, look what we have happening. We have a little dip in the land, right? You can see it dip off that level down 1 foot and then slope back up to that point that I have assigned at 0 still. What do I mean by that? If I go back here and I edit the surface once again, notice this point's at 1, this is still at 0. I'm going to grab those and I'm going to say make these -2. Then I'm going to say make that one -3. And then I'm going to make this last set of them -4. I'm going to finish, and now if I go back to my 3D view, you see how in that right side 3D view, you see how my land begins to slope right off, right? And depending on what we had going on there, maybe we had a retention pond back there, or maybe we wanted to have a leach field, and we'll talk about leach fields and sustainability. Maybe we wanted to take the water from our septic system and drain it off somewhere, and we're going to slope the back of our yard so that the water runs away from our house. In actuality, people, we would slope our land going away from our house anyway. We never want it to be just flat where water can pond, nor do we want it to slope toward our house. We always want to have a grade sloping at some percentage away from our house. Just like we have to slope pipe that carries waste matter, we have to slope land too, or else it will not drain properly. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and let you get caught up to me in this video. Remember, we're going to, when we edit our topo surface, we're going to copy points. And I'm going to see if I can do something while I'm in here. I don't think I can. I can't place dimensions on my points out here. They're not set up to do so. However, if I go back in here and I go to edit surface, remember, from this first point to the second point, we are 75 feet. From the second point here to the third point, we are 20 feet. Then from the third point to the fourth point, we're 20 feet. And then we are again 20 feet. And then the last point is left over from what we drew the first time. But what's interesting is if we wanted to, guess what we could do? We could move that another 5 feet, and then we have even 20-foot increments where our lines of topography exist. Okay? I'll go ahead and stop this video, and I'll let you spend a little time getting caught up.